اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
وآله الطيبين الطاهرين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين فلا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. فقد قال الله الحكيم في محكم كتابه أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الذين يقولون ربنا إننا آمنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وقنا عذاب النار. Those who say, our Lord, indeed, we have faith, so forgive us our sins and save us from the punishment of the fire. Please say the second salawat.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
First and most of all, happy Eid to all of you. I hope that, after fasting for 30 days or more, if you have fasted in a month, inshallah, you will find the results and the rewards the next day, which will be the Eid al-Fitr, and in the hereafter as well, inshallah. Tonight, we're going to continue our discussions. We're going to talk about specifically about how to say farewell to the month of Ramadan, number one. And number two, we're going to talk about forgiveness as one of those core items, the very most important items that has been recommended to us to ask for during these last couple nights of the month of Ramadan, and even on the first day of Shawwal, inshallah. I'm going to start with the narrations from the hadith from the Holy Prophet of Islam.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
This hadith has been narrated in the book of Rasail al-Shia. It's one of the major books that we use, and it's from Jabir. Jabir goes to the Holy Prophet and asks him, how can I say my farewell? How can I say goodbye to the month of Ramadan? Holy Prophet turns around and tells him, you have to recite this. Allahumma la taj'alhu akhir al-ahd min siyamina iyyah. Meaning that you're going to ask Allah, you're going to say, oh Lord, do not put this month of Ramadan, my last. Right? Give me a chance to, connect this one to the next one. Connect this year to the next year. And the Holy Prophet continues, فَإِن جَعَلْتَهُ فَاجْعَلْنِي مَرْحُومًا. You're saying, and if you decide that this is the last one for me, if you decide this is the last one for me, at least forgive all of my sins when you want to take me from this world, right? فَإِنَّهُ مَنْ قَالَ ذَلِكَ دَخَلَ بِإِحْدَى الْحُسْنَيَيْنِ. Then Holy Prophet explains. He says, if you pray like this, you're going to get one of the two, right? You're either going to connect this month to the next month and you're going to have the blessings again in the next month, or if your life comes to an end, you're going to gain the forgiveness. So always when you try to pray smart. Second narration is from Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wassalam.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
This one is narrated in the book of Bahar, and it's actually not a hadith from Imam Sajjad, but rather it's his lifestyle, the way he actually treated others on the night of Eid and on the day of Eid. Imam Sajjad used to have a lot of servants, a lot of slaves that they would bought out, and then they would set free, right? So this was like the tradition of Imam Sajjad, that he would never punish any of his servants. So whenever they would make a mistake, right, he would just write it down. He would make a report, and at the night of Eid, such as tonight, when he would come, he would bring out the reports, he would bring out the books, he would line all his servants, and he would say, okay, for example, Mr. X, you have done this and this and this. We acknowledge, he said yes. Mr. Y, you have done this, so on and so forth, right? After saying all of their mistakes and stuff, then he's going to say, I have forgiven all of your mistakes, all your problems, and I have set you all free. So you're all free, you're all been forgiven. So do me one favor. They would say, what should we do? It says to stand up, raise your hands, and then make your voice loud, and then say this. Allahumma a'fi an Ali ibn Husayn. Oh Lord, please forgive Ali ibn Husayn. Just like he has forgiven us, oh Allah, you forgive Ali ibn Husayn and protect him from the hell. This is what Imam Sajjad used to do every year. It didn't matter where or when he would advise a person as a servant, he would always set him free at the night of Eid al-Fitr. And not even that, on the day of Eid, he would give him so many rewards and so many gifts that they wouldn't have to go to anybody and ask them for money or anything else. they will give them whatever they needed just to make sure that they will start their life and they will continue their life. So setting them free, forgiving them, and giving whatever he could to help them continue their life. And that's what he used to say, he used to tell them to, remember this, وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. If you do good deeds, righteous deeds towards others, Allah likes this one. And Allah is the one who actually is the most kind, most merciful. So if you do this, you have that excuse to ask him to do good deeds towards you, right? So this is teaching us what to do in the last night of the month of Ramadan. The scholars have similar things. They say it's better to continue fasting, not on the day of Eid, because on the day of Eid is forbidden to fast, right? But after that, it's better to continue fasting for 6 days, which means 5 days after Eid, right? Why? They say 2 reasons. Number one, they say if you do that, you're going to have the rewards of fasting for the entire year. We say how? They say, well, you fasted for 30 days, right? And Allah Almighty says, whatever you do, I will give you 10 times more, right? 30 days times 10 is 300, right? And then you fast for another 6 days. That's times 10 is 60 days. 300 plus 60, 360 days, that equals to a whole year, right? It's a mathematical. But don't worry about that part. The second reason is more interesting. They say, once you have a guest in your home, right? Sometimes when they're about to leave, you just say bye, see you later, right? But sometimes when they are so dear to you, and you might miss them, instantly, or you might not get a chance to see them, you will get up and you will walk them out, right? You will walk them outside the door, you will probably walk them to their car, make sure everything's okay as they're leaving your house. And that's the teaching of Islam. Actually, when you have a guest, when he's about to leave, go ahead and walk him out. Respect him as he's leaving. Just, don't say bye and close your door, all of a sudden and come back home. No, but that's considered rude. So they say the second reason is this. You fasted for 30 days, meaning by the mean of fasting, you have become the guest of Allah Almighty, right? Now, do you want to take off? Do you want to take off all of a sudden and just close everything and leave? Or you want to extend this a little bit more, right? Take advantage a little bit more. That's why they say it's better to continue fasting after the month of Ramadan for maybe 4 or 5 days in a row, inshallah. Now, my last gift for tonight, before we start actually talking about the forgiveness, it's what the Holy Prophet actually gives to Lady Fatima
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
Lady Fatima says, one day I was getting ready to go to bed when the Holy Prophet actually came to our house. So he told me, oh Fatima, don't sleep, right, before you do 4 things. So after you do these 4 things, you can go to sleep. Number 1, finish reciting the entire Quran. Number 2, make sure you put the prophets as your intercession. Number 3, make sure you make all the faithfuls happy and pleased from yourself. And number 4, perform Hajj and Umrah, right? So you do these 4 deeds, then you can go to sleep. It's pretty hard, right? Tough. Impossible. How can you do all this 4? So, and then Holy Prophet started doing like salats. So Lady Fatima was thinking, once the salat was finished, she asked, oh Prophet, the deeds you told me is like impossible. How can I do Hajj and Umrah before I go to sleep? How can I make sure all the faithfuls are pleased and happy with me? How can I for example, finish reciting the entire Quran? That's going to take at least 3-4 days, right? I can't go to sleep. Holy Prophet says, no, not like that. If you recite the surah Qul Huwallahu Ahad, Surah Al-Tawheed, 3 times, that equals the amount of reciting the entire Quran. And that's going to take maybe 30 seconds, 1 minute, right? 3 times. So that's 1. In order to make the prophets your intercession, all you have to do is say, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. That's maybe 2 seconds, right? Now what about third one? How can I make all the faithfuls be happy with me? Holy Prophet says, whenever you want to do that, all you have to do is say, Subhanallah walhamdulillah la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar. The prayer we say in the 3rd or 4th rak'ah of our prayer, right? When you say this, you're praying for all the Muslims, number 1. And number 2, you have the rewards of performing Hajj and Umrah. So inshallah, every night from now on, remember this one. As you're about to fall asleep, right? Do this do 3 times Surah Al-Turkey, Qul huwa Allahu ahad, right? Do 1 salawat, and then say Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. In other narrations, they tell us, say La ilaha illallah until you fall asleep, right? So that's why we say the faithful, he goes to sleep while remembering God, and he wakes up from sleep again while remembering God. That's why it's good when you want to go to sleep, go with wudu. Have wudu and then go to sleep, right? Inshallah. Now let's focus on forgiveness. So many narrations, so many ahadith, so many du'as. If you guys have been paying attention to all the du'as that we recite every night, all of them ask for the same thing, forgiveness, for that maghfirah, right? I'll give you one hadith which shows that Allah Almighty's mercy is like so diverse and so like limitless, but still we keep on asking for the maghfirah even on the very last night and very last hours of this month, and even in the new months. This hadith is from Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It goes like this: Inna Allah Ta'ala fi kulli laylatin min shahr Ramadan 'inda al-iftar 70,000 'atiqan min an-nar. Allah Almighty, during the month of Ramadan, at the time of iftar, He rescues and He saves and He protects 70,000 people who are worthy of punishment from the hell. This is every night at the time of iftar. فإذا كان آخر ليلة من شهر رمضان أعتق فيها مثل ما أعتق في جنته. Subhanallah. It continues, it says, and when the last night of the Ramadan comes, what does Allah Almighty do? For every night He was doing 70,000, right? Let's say 700,000, right? In the last night, He will forgive the entire amount that He has been forgiven for the entire month. So 29 days, 28 days, 30 days, times 700,000, right? That will equal the amount of people that Allah Almighty will forgive on the very last night of the month of Ramadan. Imagine that number. And other narrations, similar meaning. إِذَا كَانَ أَفْضَلُ لَيْلَةٍ مِنْ شَهْرِ رَمَضَانَ غَفَرَ اللَّهُ لِمَنْ شَاءَ مِنَ الْخَيْرِ. When the first day of the month of Ramadan comes, Allah starts to forgive all the people. Whoever asks Him to be forgiven, Allah Almighty will forgive him. فَإِذَا كَانَتِ اللَّيْلَةُ الَّتِي تَلِيهَا ضَعَفَهُ. So on the first night, whoever does du'as and asks for forgiveness, he will be forgiven. Let's say X amount of people, right? On the second night, Allah will forgive double that amount. On the third night, it will be triple that amount. And every night the double amount of the night before. And it continues till the last night again. حتى آخر ليلة في شهر رمضان تضاعف مثل ما أعتق في كل ليلة. So this, keeps on going on the power of 2, right? And then continues all the way to the last night. Again, on the last night, it will be double of the amount of whatever He has forgiven for the previous night. So it becomes a very large number. Now, interesting. So once we have all this forgiveness and all this mercy, do we have anybody left? If we look at the hadith, we say, yeah, we do have some people left. And that's the person that we call he's the richest one, right? And then the most richest one is the one who comes up, and then we talked about last night. Who was the most richest one of the last people? You guys remember? Ashqal Akharin, who was Ibn right? So this one, it goes like this. قَدْ أَقْبَلَ إِلَيْكُمْ شَهْرُ اللَّهِ بِالْبَرَكَةِ وَالرَّحْمَةِ وَالْمَغْفِرَةِ. When the month of Ramadan comes, right? This is the month of mercy, the month of forgiveness, and the month of blessing. And this month, the month of Ramadan, it is the greatest month. And the days of it are the greatest days. And the nights of it are the greatest nights, meaning among all the other months, right? It continues and says, even the hours in this month are the greatest hours in the whole year. This is the month in which you guys all have been invited to join the party with your Lord, right? And in this month, Allah Almighty puts everybody on the good list, right? We don't have no bad list. Everybody's welcome, everybody's, and on the A+ list, right? أنفاسكم فيه تسبيح ونومكم فيه عبادة. In this month, your breathing is actually worshipping and praising Allah. Just by breathing, you are praising your Lord. And when you are sleeping, your sleeping by itself is the act of worshipping. And what you do, your deeds and action in this month is accepted. And whatever you do dua for, whatever you do request for, it will be answered. This is the important part. So when you want to ask your Lord, first of all, ask with a sincere intention. And with pure and clean heart. And what should we ask for? Number 1, to fast. Number 2, to recite his book. Shaqi is that wretched one. The holy this narration tells us, indeed, the person who's wretched, who is that person? Is the one is the person who does not get the forgiveness of his Lord in this month. So we can conclude there are some people who don't take advantage of this month and they don't even care about it. And even Imam Salih says, من لم يغفر له في شهر رمضان لم يغفر له إلا قابل إلا أن يشهد عرفة. The one who doesn't get forgiveness in this month, there is no more hope for him, unless if he continues to live until the day of Arafah. The day of Arafah, as you know, it's a day which Imam Hussein has a very beautiful ziyarah. I'll give you one more hadith from Holy Prophet. If you recite salawat.
Allahumma salli Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
إن أبواب السماء تفتح في أول ليلة من شهر رمضان ولا تغلق إلى آخر ليلة منه. Indeed, all the gates of the skies will be open on the first night of the Ramadan, and they will continue to be open all the way till the last night of Month of Ramadan. And then they ask Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, so what should we ask for during the month of Ramadan? He replies, alaykum fi shahr Ramadana bi kathrat al-istighfar wa du'a. Number 1, always ask for istighfar, like forgiveness. When you say astaghfirullah rabbi wa atubu ilayh. Number 2, wa du'a. Always do your du'as in the month of Ramadan. So as we can see, it's like, what's the whole point of fasting all these times? Is to get that forgiveness. And not just to get it like, 1 second, no. To have it with us and keep it with us and conceal it with us for the rest of our life. And that's the major question that we have to ask ourselves. So after 30 days of fasting, not eating, not drinking, perhaps staying awake some of the nights, right? Going to work while fasting, all of the stuff we have done. So now we have come to a point that we have reached the Eid, right? So what we have gained over the past 30 days. And that's the true meaning of Eid as well, because Eid in Arabic comes from out, which means returning to a point, right? So when we say this day is an Eid, because it represents something very special and something very unique. So in Eid, of course, you go around, you see other brothers, you have festivals, you have cookies and sweets and all this stuff. That's good. But in reality, on the inner side, what do we have to look for when the Eid comes? If you look at the Mafati, we have so many, Amal al-Mustahabi, recommended actions for the day of Eid. For example, we have to do, there are 3 ghusls, right? 3 showers. One at the beginning of the night, one at the end of the night, one at early in the morning, right? Then you have all these prayers, different salats and different du'as, all for the night of Eid. And again, in the morning of Eid, you have so many prayers. Why do you think that is? Are we supposed to go out and have fun? Why Allah Almighty gives us more actions to do on the day of Eid? They say, once you do something, right, when the day of graduation comes, you expect a reward, right? If you study hard, when you graduate, you expect that degree, right? If you work hard, you expect that good salary, that good performance, and the raise, right? Now you have fasted for 30 days. Now it comes a day that you want to get your rewards, right? And what is that reward? That reward is meeting your Lord. How? If you have done your fasting right, if you have gone through these 30 days properly, you have reached the stage of taqwa, which means it kind of makes you enlightened in a way. Like your soul feels like more connected to your Lord, right? And this is the rewards we're talking about. As we get closer and closer and closer to Eid, this enlightenment is going to feel stronger. So once you reach the day of Eid is when you actually see your Lord in a way, if you have done everything right. And that's why once we have such a big reward, in return, we try to be thankful and we do so many deeds such as doing du'as, doing salats, and doing prayers, and even staying awake at the night of Eid is one of those recommended actions. Another point is very important. It has been told to Moses. They ask Moses if he can, why don't you pray for yourself, right? And then Moses said, well, I pray for myself, but one of the conditions for praying to be answered is to be prayed through a tongue that has not committed a sin, right? And my tongue probably has committed sin, in early ages or one day or another. So when I pray, I'm not really hopeful for the answer, right? So they tell him, no, you have to be smart about it. Your tongue might be like sinful, but it hasn't committed sin for others, right? So when you want to pray for your brothers, and your brothers will pray for you. This way, everybody will get their answers, right? That's why we talk about unity, that's why we talk about brotherhood, right? So we pray for each other, and everybody else prays for each other, and this is the way to get around it, inshallah. As you know, the last day of Majalis, they always talk about Lady Fatima. Who is Lady Fatima? You guys all know. The wife of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Right. The mother of Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein, Lady Zainab, and Lady Kulthum alayhi salam.
So the what? Allah, salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
We're talking about farewell. We're talking about saying goodbye to the month of God. Well, there is another goodbye. There is another farewell happening in the city of Medina. Let's go to city of Medina. Let's enter the house of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wa salam. And let's see what Lady Fatima says towards the end of her life. As she was getting closer, she calls out Asma. Asma was one of the servants who was helping her out in the house. And she tells her the will that she has, and she tells her to let Amir al-Mu'mineen know of this will. To do everything that, for my kafan and daf, for burying me and putting kafan on me at nighttime. And don't let anybody know about this. Only the special people. And then he tells Asma, bring me some water. I want to perform a wudu. Some say she actually performed the ghusl. Once she does that, she wears very beautiful and clean and new white dress. And then she tells Asma to go outside of the room and then come back in about maybe 15 minutes to 1 hour. Call me. If I answer you, that means I'm still here. If I don't answer, be sure that I am gone. So Asma does as she's ordered. She goes out of the room. And then after about close to 1 hour, she calls Lady Fatima. Lady Fatima, Lady Fatima. There is no answer. She comes in the room and she sees that Lady Fatima has been, laying down, facing the Qibla, and she has a cover over her head. So she goes out and then she tells Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein. They come to the room and they ask, why is our mother, sleeping at this time of the day? She said, no, she's not sleeping. She's actually, passed away. So go and tell your father in the mosque. And he was at the mosque at the moment. So they, think about it, crying and probably trying very hard to just stand stable. They start running towards the mosque. I don't know how many times have they hit the ground in the way and in the way back. They tell Imam Ali, and Imam Ali shouts and starts crying, and he faints out. They pour some water on his face, and then they make him conscious again. So he comes back home, he goes to the room, he starts crying. And then he tells the kid to leave the room, and then he has to start washing Lady Fatima and perform the post before he actually, made kafan for her. So he asks Asma to bring water. Asma is saying that I was pouring water, and Imam Ali was washing her underneath her clothes. As I was pouring water, I all of a sudden saw that Imam Ali stopped for a second, and he is just crying, and his shoulders are shaking for the amount of crying that he's doing. I asked him, oh my master, oh Amir al-Mu'mineen, why have you stopped? What's the problem? Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wa salam says, I was washing, but now my hand has reached the arm of Lady Fatima, the bicep of Lady Fatima, the place where she was hit, and he started crying. Asma starts crying. They finished the post. And then as Imam Ali is about to tie the ropes around the kafan, he says to tell the kids to come in and say goodbyes. Asma tells the kids to come in. Imam Hassan enters, Imam Hussein enters, Lady Zainab enters, Lady Kulsum enters. Imam Hassan goes up to his mother and then hugs her and then says, oh mother, this is your Hassan, this is your Hassan. Answer me before my soul and spirit, he has departed from this world. Please and please answer me. Imam Hussein goes to her feet and then puts his face on her feet and then says, oh mother, this is your Hussein. How come you're not answering me? Please answer me before my heart is broken. And Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, looking at all of this, he says, I swear to Allah, I saw the hands of Lady Fatima coming out of her kafan. With one hand she hugged Imam Hassan, with the other hand she hugged Imam Hussein. And she got him close to herself, very tight, hold him very tight. And we all were crying. All of a sudden angels came to me. They told me, oh Eli, please take the kids out. As if they continue, Lady Fatima's spirit is about to return to her brother. سيعلم الذين ينقلبون اللهم إنا نسألك وندعوك باسمك العظيم الأعظم العز الأجل الأكرم الآهي بمحمد وعلي وفاطمة والحسن والحسين وتسعة المعصومين من ذرية الحسين يا الله 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 اللهم عجل وليك الفرج اللهم عجل وليك الفرج اللهم عجل وليك الفرج والعافية والناس واجعلنا من أعوانه وأنصاره وشيعته والضابين عنه والمصارعين إليه في قضاء حوائجه. O Lord, we'll ask you humbly on this very last night of the month of Ramadan to hasten the reappearance of our Month of Ramadhan, inshallah ta'ala. O Lord, we'll ask you humbly to put us among the companions and true followers of Imam Zaman, inshallah. Oh Lord, we'll ask you, just as we asked the other nights, to forgive all of our sins and all of our mistakes, and to give us the chance to actually get better every day, every hour, every minute, and every second. Oh Lord, you yourself have said that you forgive a lot of people, especially at the last night of the month of Ramadan. We are part of those people, so we'll ask you humbly, not only to forgive us, forgive our brothers as well, forgive our fathers and mothers, our ancestors, all of our beloved ones who are departed from this world as well. Oh Allah Almighty, will ask you to help and support all the brothers around the world, in Syria and Palestine, in Iraq, in Lebanon. Oh Allah Almighty, will ask you to give us and grant us a healthy family and children, and to guide them every day and every night. Oh Allah, will ask you to give us the proper means and resources to be successful in this life and the hereafter. Inshallah, we can remember all of the past ones by reciting the Surah Al-Fatiha after a loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.